All right, first a little background, especially for those who are watching or here or not familiar. The conlang relays themselves got started back in 1998. Let's just say it was 1998. It might have been 1997, but let's say 1998. The very right. And the very first one was the Starling song, which was Irina's text, right? Yeah. So Irina Rempt, a fantastic conlanger who lives in the Netherlands. In fact, I couldn't join us today. She wrote up a text, a poem called the Starling Song in her language. And then what happened was she passed the text on to another conlanger that was just the text in her conlang without translation. And then there was some grammar notes and a lexicon. And then the goal of the conlanger who received the text was to decode it and then translate it into their own conlang, pass it on to the next one with similarly just with grammar notes and so on. And then it's kind of like a relay, and we call it the torch, and we pass it from one to the other. And what's fun about it is that, 3 or 4 or 5 people in, suddenly the text begins to transform and looks like something that you simply wouldn't have expected. And so then at the end of the relay, the text is released, and you can compare what the text originally was to what it has since become. There have been some classic ones in the history of the relay where, for example, fountains become, or is it stars become fountains? Stars became fountains, and then there was that awful one with the baby, and I remember one of the drastic changes in that one was my relay where something that was supposed to be the word shaman, I believe I translated it as like a bearded man, or, oh no. I ended up translating it as shaman because what the thing was, it said it was bearded person, or bearded bad. I don't know, anyway. It's a lot of fun. So we, for the second language creation conference, we decided to do one just with, mainly with LCC participants. And that was fun. And the third, and we did it again for LCC3, that one was also fun. We did it again for this relay, and this time, finally, I think the text really, really did mutate quite a bit. Though unfortunately for the people that were right at the beginning, so for example, Philip and Karsten, it's not going to be much of a surprise to you when the text is revealed. Those who were at the end, especially people like Sven and Andre and Sylvia, you are in for a surprise.
I suspected so.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is what the schedule was. So you can kind of see who's going to be up next. What we're going to do is, on your turn, so for those that are here, on your turn, just read the version of your text in your conlang, then read the English, and then try to just highlight a couple of the points where maybe there was some diversion, or explain some of the choices you made that led to, say, a change in the text. But there's a lot of us, so we do want to keep it moving, but that's generally the idea. All right, here we go. This was the text that I wrote originally in Dothraki. Try not to read the English so you don't spoil it. I'll read the Dothraki first. Here we go. All right, and the text is the Dorvi Zichame. Oh, brother, I should have practiced this. Kashchiori lain Dothraki soleth kashmenem annach ki dorvi. As dorvi ki je chiori lain yer alla yafiyanna. An hazalak kemolat magiron. Chiori jas. Kif indir yer zalimi yer nem akimi manhon. Yer vos nisi hakes nani akka. Qaf dorvi ki hakes yeri. An havos qafo kisi haki yeri. An haqaf meyer nem akimi manhon. Fini elzich yeri. Gini elzich ani. As chiori fini zilisse. Oh, I'm sorry. As chiori fini zilisse. Oboes dorvon marachon mae. Majin obo dorvon chilai shejah. As majin elzich yeri ai. Okay, there you go. Oh, no. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read it in English now. Okay, so here was the text, which I called the disrespectful goat. Okay, A beautiful woman was riding across a bridge when she was stopped by a goat. "Oh, beautiful woman," said the goat, "you please me. I wish to marry you." The woman laughed. "Why would you want to marry me? You don't even know my name." "Your name?" asked the goat. "I didn't ask about your name. I asked you to marry me. What is your answer?" "This is my answer," said the woman, who sliced the goat's head off with her arak, and that's a sword that the Dothraki had. The goat's head lying on the bank then said, "So, is that a yes?" And there we go. So that's the original text. Again, this is going to look quite familiar to Philip and Karsten, and then probably to nobody else. So without further ado, next up is Philip, who translated it into Engadanese. Right? That's pronounced right?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Philip.
Are you going to play my recording, or do I have to do it live?
I will
try it.
Live. It's much nicer live.
All right, do it. Do it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you're not going to come up here? Come on.
Oh, it's up there too. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Can I do that transcription?
Okay. To trać karma. Moja dziennika orea ipebetia moja Jeffra an, podocen trać ciecz ciating meni airi. To trać ecz lelalimen, tiorea otsuis, sumaresh tis polu, eubause jami. Ti dziennika ecz diedelimen. Prosti baudis mediami, sualgi nuosh tis niang tonumu. To trać ecz erutimen tonum su, euauc ecz erutimen pritonum su, eu ecz etimen per sediamimai. Ti it apocrisisu, tutti it apocrisimu, ecz ti gineca lelalimen, cecaini ecz apotent mimenti cefali parto trac, sunt xaifcis. Stura ecz ti cefali parto trac, o ecz cecimen isto edaf partiocian lelalimen, pia it apocrisisu ne?
It's very Greek.
I'll go ahead.
Yes, it's based on Greek with some sound changes.
Okay.
Greek, mix of Greek and Greco-Romance or something.
Precisely.
There. I'll go
Cool, I
ahead.
like it.
It's supposed to be what Greek.
Right.
The idea was what Greek would have been, or what Greco-Romance would have been if it had descended not from Latin, but from Greek. So, yeah, that's what you get then.
Okay. So here, I'll read it in English pretty quick, really quick. It's pretty much the same. So now it's not the disrespectful goat, which I thought was cuter, but the impudent goat. A beautiful woman was riding over a bridge when a goat stopped her. The goat said, "How beautiful you are. I really like you a lot. I want to marry you." The woman laughed. "Why do you want to marry me? You don't even know my name." The goat asked, "Your name?" "I didn't ask for your name. I asked you to marry me. What's your answer?" "This is my answer," the woman said, and she cut off the goat's head with her sword. Then the goat's head, which was lying on the ground of the riverbank, said, "So your answer is yes." All right, and so that there wasn't much change there. We're going to see our first big change in the next one. So I wanted to ask, is the volume on here for this laptop?
Oh, I can.
Okay. So we're on? Okay, so we have, and of course this doesn't work, but, oh, no, what the, stop that, no. I want it just to open in a new tab. No.
It doesn't have anything to paint. It's in before. There's nothing to paint here.
It plays right in my browser.
Yeah, because your browser has a plugin for that.
Ah, okay, well, what do we do then?
You need to download it and print before with the views.
I thought Windows had the advantage of having support for all kind of formats.
It's closed in, so it's closed in, so I cannot get those kind of plugins as such.
Can it do Windows Media Player? Will that do it? Or will browse?
that won't work as well. I can't solve it, I just have to say it.
Okay.
And I just,
There's Buddy.
find
I'm starting to miss my cat. He looks as if he has a USB key in his mouth.
usually carries a lot of things. No USB keys, but anything of value.
Downloads? It wasn't a downloads folder, I thought.
It might have been that download, but I think that not.
Firefox downloads.
There it is. Okay. I don't hear any. Can you make it full screen?
Press F.
Okay, there it is. But
Maybe it's just not done.
Yeah, just I turn the volume.
Okay.
Very possible.
okay, that's fine. Where's it play from?
No idea.
Move the mouse to the bottom.
Oh man, what is that?
Well,
Okay, Claire,
until we need there, they
we
need to both
play with
No,
the
David.
machine.
No, hold on.
It's done with me.
We're not going to be able to see the video though if I play it from my computer.
Unless you hold your computer up in front of the.
Well, it's, no, what I just did was,
Oh, then we wouldn't see it. It's just the people.
I'm not sure what I'll do. It's sort of old fashioned, but it's sort of really cool. I think you're art.
All right, I'm just gonna play the audio because the video it just looks like Carson. So you ready? Here, actually, maybe you can put up the video without sound, and we'll try to play at the same time. Oh, it'll work. It'll work. It'll be very amusing. You didn't keep it open?
I'm very, I'm sorry, clean seed for So,
Okay. Now hit pause and then go back. And ready? Okay. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, play. I want us to hit play on play. Okay, ready? 1.
We'll try 20 times.
1, 2, 3, play.
Hello everyone, this is Carsten Becker speaking again, this time from my group in Marburg. And of course this is pre-recorded because when you see this, I'll already be on the train on my way back home to Marburg. And although you might see just basically pixels, I don't know what the technology will be in Berlin. Videos, just playing out of the sound file. So I'm going to read you my translation of the LCC4 relay now, and also give you the translation into English. And I'm very curious to see what the person following me made of my text. And I'm just going to read it out now. So, Chamas Ata. Ang saraya en bandeno magaluga sa tiruya narya kaya chavas en manas takavenya na naraya chavas akatay. Ach van benoy ikan sa silvian ba ang tavya deng divaya na balari sa kamavan ben kulun ang may kanay bas. Sa danyeg naranya na junya abayam en mana no kadvaya sinisa sa kurunoy van ya magarana dimuyam. Karanas van Bang kakay nagkapranto yang adanya narayan takurpan ang no may kanay bas. Sinaguratan leban. Dahil muratan leban narayan banang nasa iseng debo sinasigiri asirika ay para tinisa nanay. Lugas sa himiseng debo tipuya nasa imalinya ang narayan takamenya debo kalasinatan sining kuratan leban may. Excuse me. The translation into English is as follows. The audacious goat. A beautiful woman went over a bridge when a goat suddenly stopped her and said audaciously, "Oh, you're so beautiful. If I see you, my eyes are filled with joy. You're as beautiful as the moon. I want to marry you." The woman heard the words and began to laugh. "Why do you want to marry me? You don't even know my name. Do tell." "Your name? Are you deaf?" "That I didn't ask for. I said, just so you know, I want to marry you. Now, what is your answer?" "This is my answer," said the woman, and cut off the head of the goat with her sharp, quick, and deadly sword. While she laid the head into the grass by the river bank, the head of the audacious goat suddenly spoke. "Does that mean your answer is yes?" Okay. As I said, I'm very curious what the person following me made of my text, because just for fun, actually, I made a kind of a poem out of it. So you might not have heard it, but every line, or, well, every clause kind of consists actually of 8 syllables. And it was great fun trying to get my conlang into this, to these constraints. And I'm very unfortunate I can't be there, see the revelation of the relay live, but I'm sure there's going to be videos, and, well, as I said, I'm looking forward to it. Have fun. Thank you for listening.
You know, I watched the video beforehand, and you know, he said, "Oh, I don't know what technology is going to be." I'm like, "We'll be fine." So anyway, if I can just show you, just so that you can look at it, you don't need to read it, you can just look at it. You can see he's broken the text into stanzas. He added a lot, actually, to the original text, and added some elements that kind of remained throughout and started getting translated in strange ways. In particular, something that you're going to watch and track as we go on is this, "You're as beautiful as the moon." That was just something he added, and fun things happened to it. All right, so next we have Jan Strasse.
Yeah, well, I brought some notes because, as you might see when we scroll up, Tmasharek has some quite long words, and I never know where to put stress, so I need these. And this is the first time I try reading more than 2 or 3 Tmasharek words after one another, so it probably won't be quite as fluent as the languages before this, but well. I actually realized that Carsten had these 8-syllable stanzas, but it's not possible to do that in Tmasharek, so it's something else. Polpa Chopnala. Zekasha Pachmama Nata Noknene, Chopnale Kwetsane Yetsamakwa, Polpa Yate Tsasheshi Satsemaxe. Hey, Tatsa Spopewe Tsekayata. Nanya Pota Kikmo Oma, Nahaha Taho Mekchan Tweet Chase. Magnon lena quiniata. Cie onceca nayashitahme. Ashan yeya pomilokwa yomkakwa pomakma. Wile cheya sheme. Cie chesewi. Na inje quina mena chesehma. Some penye cheseye. I can't do it really. Well, Chinje. No pok mi jejaczka czesejeki, Chinje kocza onconie. Szeszita cpenie oncmo, cie once ta najaszitachme. Wishi czehanime niesewi, szeszita nahanime niese. Za te pokse ashe. Za quinium wekmach kaya loknio, osha czech calo kniokma jahon cano, mekwesa co jaknio ha jahe czoknalo ekmeno. Janko mo tatka ektachmo mo oma, polpa czoknalo ekmene cane szeshi cace pokse. Koto somolo takwi. Well, maybe just a few words about how the language works. It's quite agglutinative morphology, but every unnecessary vowel gets dropped. So I expected this to be maybe a major factor in how the text developed, and I'm curious to see how that turned out. And also the language has some evidential marking, which also might influence the content. I'm quite curious.
All right. Let's see. And did you pretty much get it? Like translated? Was it pretty much faithful? The English side?
Yes, it's basically quite similar, I think.
Okay, so no problems yet. Okay. Next is.
May I ask one thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do the ogonex mean?
Nasalized vowels.
Another?
Nasalized vowels.
Okay.
All right. Next is Max Dominic Weber with Batu.
PHP.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. All right, go.
Okay, so here's my choice of the relay in native script. So if someone wants to have it,
I'll take it.
okay, so we can maybe pass it around. And I will also scan it, and maybe you can put the link on the site later. Okay. Van munpe, kisu munpe pluk, was sachli, vumu bö, nutipm, kwan quas fitsu, kwan quas isib, sja, quen bli sachli, quen pup, quen fina palo, roge quonor fina co fa flopiv, quen mafta fina lypup, quen lopin. Quas valvunsa bilip, quan fepal, quon mafta fina lypup, qui, roge, quen quon rosin, quen quonor bu upunere, lich, quen quon isib, quen quenor bu isis, quen quon bilisun, quen isipolo, quen topin, quiv, quenor gasipup, quas quonor gasipup, quasor sinus seish, Quanmul, Quafoval, Quanotflug, Fiflug, Qual Malal, Sö, Zniko, Wach, Qual, Quas, Fisip, Quen, Quon, Havisarö. Should I read the English text?
Yeah, actually, there's been a change, so go ahead.
Okay. A loud goat. A beautiful woman goes across the bridge. A goat suddenly stops her and loudly speaks these words. Oh, you are really very graceful and beautiful. As I am watching you here, my eyes have become full of joy. You appear to shine like the moon. I really want to marry you. The woman hears these words and starts to laugh. Why would you desire me if I looked like the moon? I assume you don't even know my name, yet you are talking to me. Your name? Didn't you listen to my words? I told you, I really want to marry you. What is your answer? This is my answer, she said, and with a quick cut of a sharp knife, killed the goat and cut off his head. And when it had fallen into the grass near the river, the loud goat suddenly said, I take it you agree.
So,
Okay.
I have a quick question. So the original, the original introduction of the moon was, "You are as beautiful as the moon." Now we see the moon has been separated quite a bit from beautiful. How did that happen?
I think that's how I interpreted the Tamasha text. So, yeah. Also, you see in the English text, you can see these evidentials, which also were in Tamasha, and well, Batu also kind of has evidentials, so I tried to put them in there. And yeah, so they are also in the English text.
Thanks a lot.
Let's see what I have for this change. I didn't have to move to the second place, but I'm just looking right now what I might possibly have turned into.
All right, next is King Sunny and Mekfield Chop. I'm not going to be able to fit it all on the screen. So why don't you come up here and you can just scroll.
Yeah, okay. I'm here. Okay. I can't read this. Can you help me for a second? Can you change this so it's a bit clearer? It's not this. No, it doesn't help. Please, can you make it a more serif text? Not serif, sans serif text. This way, it just feels unreadable to me. Sorry.
No, but
okay, I can read it from my computer.
that'll work too. I can change the colors.
No, the font is the issue for me.
Oh no, I didn't read it from the
No, the font shape is bad.
It's the font. I failed to parse this without really having to think of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not very close, so it's supposed to be unreadable.
Yeah, for me it's quite not the way. It's one big mess for me. Sorry. Ich tägliche Michailan, mihe oejele, mihitmo, tishunehet, mitathet sei. Ich tägliche mihazver, maihe, mi wisto, maihe kan. Tahai, Ilohengelu, il zakir, Shemizuhan il Zakir het nazai mi izi aike. il winnig recognize me goes to head. Juana Chantal was in a head. My head mila auzu geli die orge ich tegen hij han. Gewinnig reiche het nai gewinnig reiche het nai goes to head zu aike. Il wana che anta wazina het aike zu. Chetadva il kita il wisdom had wenir. Ich mi namha il wisdom eluhed il huta il auzuta kehanzu kelademu kewana ken ata wazina het gli nawa het nai gli huta miahu zunget. My het mi nama het miahu gli deze het al mi dihiru mi vaihunus tehi het mi wahet zaidi azaf het mi ich tehi het azaf het mi otroch ki june het kadi het azu mi wistro zaidi gili het in oki we zu. And I think it's mostly the same, except for I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think I removed all evidential traces, which were still on there in my translation, but I still have them in the what I translated from Batu, of course. Yeah. I guess it's better if you read the translation here. One change I remember, it's the stop became intercept with me, just because I thought ut was not fitting, so it became here. Wait 1 moment. Here has there.
Okay. So actually, I have a question. Just looking at this real quick. Where is Max?
Yeah.
How is shine translated in your language? Because I was looking at your text and it looked to me like the word that came out as shine was the collective of the word I. And that's possibly how it got translated as you are like the eyes of the moon.
Yeah, now I know what I said you look like the moon because I translate shine as look, and so look as
Okay.
So look is like to be for the eyes, so to the copula with the I as an adjective.
and next year was just supposed to pick up on this. All right, thanks very much.
I didn't write this.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Like every good Registان Batu translator, she should have picked up.
Keep this one out there just in case we need it. All right, next, let's see. Okay, next is Lars Benson. Lars isn't here, so I'll go ahead and read his English text, and we'll see how far it's come so far. Oh, that's kind of cute. The loud goatee. I don't think we can. I don't think that works in English. I would say goatsy. It's a cute goatee. All right, here we go. So a beautiful woman crossed a river on a bridge. A goatee, I am just keep saying goatee. A goatee stopped the woman and said to her, "Good heavens, how pretty and graceful you are. When I look at you, my eyes are happy. You look like the eyes of the moon. And you see if that was repeated now. I want to marry you. The woman heard and laughed at the goat. So I look like the eyes of the moon. You want to marry me? I guess you don't know my name, yet you speak to me. The goatsy replied, you are talking of your name. Don't you listen to me? I told you that we would marry. What is your answer to that? The woman replied, this is my answer. Her very sharp knife cut him and killed him. She quickly cut off the goat's head. The head fell into the river at the cultivated field, while she quickly said, do you agree completely? All right, so somewhere, it was either the last one or the previous one, this idea about the river falling into the head. I'm sorry, no, the other way around. The head falling into the river.
She said at the end, not the head.
Okay, wait.
Well, she said.
Wait, what?
She quickly said, and not he said.
She, who said?
Not the head.
The goat said
The woman said.
Oh, the head. The head fell into the river. The head fell into the river.
Yeah, but she
final quote.
Oh, she. Oh my goodness, suddenly the speaker has switched. I didn't notice that. No, it's the goat's head that's talking.
Don't worry, the goat will start talking again soon.
Have you noticed that she first killed the goat and then cut its head?
Oh.
So she's becoming crueler and crueler.
And that's just as a matter of course. Okay, next we have Chris with Tuan. Let's see. And again, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit this on the screen, so you just got to. Do you have it separate?
I have on my own house.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and read that. That's the whole thing. It's enormous, honestly. Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, my what I was about to say was, unfortunately, the sentences seemed to increase, and they got a little repetitive, but in conversation it wouldn't be so repetitious. Yang mia twip, Yang bang so long. Kwang long, Q zone, Lia Sian Yang Lien away yet, Lien o wo, Konya. Aya Chwaron, Ding Swain, Lia Hyung Wo, Liang Bang so long, Yo yet. A Yang Dum Q, Yang Hyung Wo, Tong Bo yet. Ding Swain, Quang Vô, Thông Hiếu Yếu, Yeah, An Không Dân, Yeah Hiếu, Chuông Đi, Bia Hiếu, Bia Ron Huang, Shane, Yu Heng Rain, Yeah Wu Den Hiếu. I don't speak this very well myself, I must admit. Zien Juan Pyong, Wang Hiếu, Thông Hiếu, Bian Ding Phuit, Ding Yen, Giang Wo Yen, a Yang Twin Twit, Liang Hyung Wo, Tung Bo Yen, Tia An, pardon, Tia An Wen Vo, Zia Wu Den Hiu, Hien Wu Hien Rain, Tia An, Zien, Juan Mun, Liang Hyung, Ben Hiu, Ashwin Ho, Ong Twin, Yang Yu Shuai Yang Yo. I did not realize it was so hard to say. Xiu Yang Yo. Yang Wa Wen Vo Yen Yang Yo. Wayne Bing Shuain Lia Hyo Liang Hyo. Wayne Shuain Pen Lia Hyo Wo Liang Bang Zo Wo Yen. Tuan Ding Shuain Wen Bi. Yu Shuai Yang Yong, Yang Yong. Wen Shuai Pen, Bia Yong Yo, Liang Yong Wo. Bet the Fui, Bia Yong Wo, Liang Yong Yo. I really said that badly, I apologize. Wen Shuai Pen, Bia Yong Wo, Liang Yong Yo. One K Ron Shuai, Ding Vo. Bia Hiếu, Tuan Zien Chuaron Chuan Wen, Zien Hiếu, Zien Hiếu, Gie Kain Shuain Pen, Wen Hyung Yo, Wen Schweinten, Bia Hyung Yo, Byung Hyung Wo, Biaron Ron, Schweinten Bo, Bia Hyung, Byung Hyo, Twa Ron, Hu Wong, Bian King Wong, Bia Hyung Yo, Bien Hyung Wo, Ang Byung Hu Wo, Zhong, Wang Zia Tian, Tong Hyung Yo, Bien Hyung Wo, Twa Ron, Bia Wan Chen, Bia We Hyung, The Zia Tian, Tong Dang, K Ron Yen, Deng Schwein Zhong, Bia Hyung Wo, Byung Hyung Yo, Schwein Ding Bo, Byung Hyung Yo, Bie, Ding Ang Hyung. And if I were a native speaker, I would have said that so much better. I apologize indeed. I don't speak my own language. In my interpretation, I only changed a few things. A noisy primordial goat. That primordial came from a conversation with Lars. This happened before, but it does not matter when. A beautiful woman was crossing a streaming channel via a bridge, but a primordial goat spoke to her. This caused her to stop. The goat said this, "Wow, you are beautiful and graceful. Look at me. My eyes are showing happiness. Your eyes resemble the lesser moons. I want to marry you." The woman heard what he said. It caused her to laugh. She said this, "So, my eyes look like the lesser moons. So, I should marry you. You cannot guess my name. If you know what it is, then tell me." So the goat spoke to her, "Tell me your name." So she answered, "Are you not listening to me?" I turned that into a sentence because I thought the question was rhetorical. So he answered, "I just spoke to you. I asked you to marry me. What is your answer?" So she replied, "This is my answer." Next, she smashed him to death with a bladed weapon. Then she severed the goat's head entirely. Then the goat's head fell into the wires of the streaming channel. Before it fell, the goat's head quickly spoke, and this is what it said. "Do you agree?" And for a few changes in the other world where this language is spoken, there are 3 moons, comparing the eyes to the 2 smaller ones. The word for goat is also sheep, and I couldn't really disambiguate it any better than that. There was something else that got changed. Oh yeah, it was a river, but I didn't think a river should belong to a farm. There's the Dutch word sloot, which I interpret as a ditch full with streaming water, and that is how I changed that and why I changed that.
Oh, so you turned cultivated field into farm.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought cultivated field, I assumed a farm. A farm does not have a river, it has a slope, and I do fortunately have a word in Thuan to translate that. That's wet.
Nice job. No, indeed, a farm doesn't have a river. That's why there wasn't a farm in the original. Okay.
From that came the idea of a field and something about random field. I decided that field by that he meant cultivated field, and so I used the word for.
Oh, by the way, these are always the most interesting. This happens every so often in a relay, where some change is instituted and then reversed for unknown reasons. So for example, in the last one, we saw it was actually the woman speaking that said, "Do you agree?" But here it is again, it's the goat's head again. So
It makes more sense.
I guess it certainly makes more sense for a dead goat's head to be speaking than a live woman. Right. I kid. Okay, next I believe we have Nin Halgar. Oh, so that's the goat sheep. What?
What did you say on the sheep?
Oh, well, he said he had the same word for goat and sheep, so that's where you got.
Yeah, so maybe a comment is not actually sheep. My calling is spoken on other planets. So I took an animal that is analogous to both goats and sheep. So here it's translated the sheep, but.
Go ahead, read. I'll try to.
Okay. Asak lubarn metatos. Robarn, lurmona ei wala musham swarnio, a hoishu servio. To asak jet lubarn fretsfets nerihand. Znera vutsus. Zurle lurzoi. Wait, there was a change. Yes. Yes, okay. Znera vutsus. Zurle lurzoi zoi. Tajdin snip nats vashanat. Wam khale zurfenturam. Amonosus meu snip nats vashanat tuam tajdina. Udur khale jem priznok tuama. Kjuru wamle gritli udur right twing. Het som jod. Schwif wala hof. Serwem van snu. Ser asak lubarnra. Wem van snu zurle gritli adurbat. Amunara. Zurle som sustegay. Ser shoyra. Trisut betak wem snu shoamle akhulabat. Tencha hits. Ser amunara wem hits. Ram pritun sak shoyla apumfum. At lap gerdet. Sakriv shay. Ser britoy bumfum nu lust nyashots. Shoya gersne nyotsra. Zurfet yok sayılasım.
Did you want to? Oh, here. Oh, I can read. Do you want to read? Okay. All right, go for it. Yeah, sure. We need.
Okay, the story of the chronology sheep, analogous of the Mein Kampf planet. So, one day, a pretty woman crossed a footbridge over an irrigation canal, but a primordial ram addressed her. He said, "Listen, you are pretty and graceful. Your eyes look like a pair of little moons. I choose to marry you." The woman heard this and laughed. "Do they look like little moons, my eyes? Must I accept you in marriage? You wouldn't be able to guess my three-syllable name." I don't know where the three-syllable comes from.
I know.
Yes, okay. If you know it, tell me. He then said, "Tell me about your three-syllable name." She said, "You don't hear it." To which he said, "If only I had spoken earlier about our pending marriage." Maybe I screwed up. How do you answer me? So she said, "I answer you." Next, she cut open his body with a sharp knife. As she cut quickly, the entire body. Yeah. As she cut quickly, the entire body fell down into the water. He could only just say, "Is it good for you?"
So I remember, because I was relay master, I was looking at these texts. I know where the three-syllable name came from. It came from Tuan. All names have three syllables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about a name, you have to talk about all three syllables of the name, and so then that just got carried over. It does carry on for a little bit. You'll see. Okay. Next is Kalesen, who is now gone. So I'll go ahead and read her English. Just keep in mind how many little mammals we've gone through. So then there was this goat switched to a sheep, and we saw that it was referred to as a ram. Now this is the deer's story. All right. A beautiful woman crosses a river with the help of a bridge. So it's no longer an irrigation canal, it's back to a river. The male deer needs to speak with her. Indeed he does. It says, "Listen, you beauty, like a dancer." Listen, you beauty, like a dancer. Your eyes are like a pair of small moons. I choose you, my life mate. She hears this and laughs. "My eyes are like a pair of small moons. I am to choose you as my life mate. Indeed, you cannot tell me my three-word name. If you can do this, then I will tell." The deer says, "I say your three-word name." She says, "I didn't hear you." The deer says, "If you and I are life mates, then I will tell. What do you answer?" The woman says, "I answer." She cuts the deer's body up with a knife. She cuts quickly, and the body falls into the water. The deer, which The deer which can speak, as we're figuring out now. So was that funny?
So you get your kicks out of this.
Oh my goodness. This goat deer animal is just getting more and more beat up as the relay goes on.
But it sounds like it's a bit of a masochist.
Well, that was good for me. Was it good for you? Okay.
One question.
Sure, question.
Does anybody know where the dancer comes from?
It comes from gracefully.
Oh,
Gracefully,
yeah. So,
Gracefully would turn into dancer.
right, so if somebody's graceful, they're like a dancer, sure. So we'll see what Jim Henry makes of that. I know many people are familiar with his language. I'm curious to see what happens after it. All right, nobody can pronounce that but Jim Henry, so here's his English. The story no longer has a title. A beautiful woman went across a river by the road over it. Then the tricksy buck decided to speak to her. He said, "Here, you are like a dance. Your eyes are like two little moons. I choose you for my wife." She heard this and laughed. "Are my eyes like two little moons? Would you choose me for your wife? Wow, you couldn't even say 3 words of my name." Then the deer said, "I'll say 3 words of your name." The woman said, "I don't hear you." Then the deer said, "If we get married, I will indeed say. How do you answer?" Then the woman said, "Behold, I answer." She slashed the deer's belly with a knife. She cut quickly, and a moment later his body tumbled into the water of the river. Then the deer, who could still speak, said, "Was that delightful for you?" So I think he was trying to make sense of that. Why would you mention deer can speak after it's already speaking? So it can still speak, which does make sense. It can still speak even though it's been all cut up and its body is in the river. Okie doke. Next we have Tam with Proto-Coastal Western.
I'll probably just read the beginning of this as I've never tried actually speaking out loud before.
Oh, come on, let's have fun.
Slowly then. Topu we na zeti sa. Gizi yebzu na aya bazi hu aya bazi sa patubu. Me shlagogu ga eza pshawo bowo. Zema ze zidai topu I pa zeti bago. Yezi zunu gi yebagizi. Gizi zi bagizi. Zesha goku zesegi ayezizi. Zeshaga zisa zitsa hitame zeze ayezitsa. Naaze tayezi ziyi yezine. Azi yezi ziyebegzi. Azehta kabo nashaga zisa hitas mazeze aya tsopugi zeaze na yezi zitsopugi mu no yo no kusi zisha zeti yezi true pegizit Zai ihmo trupi zine yezibu ta yezi zezi yezine. Topu igizi zezi bagizi to iyo no kuzi zisha zezi yezi ne yezi true pe yezine. Azi igizi zezi bagizi zie yowoni ihma. Topu igizi zezi bagizi Jela na ze sasa yezu zezi yezi no ta gigizi zezu okuzi tsai. Azi Azi Gizi Zeti Vagizi. Zizi Zikizi Zetsu Guyo Uzine. Mu Besogu U Me Topu O Gu Buruka Besa Bageta Zetsu Besa Bageta Zuo Yezu Zipo Pa Otsunu Buruka Tobu Bata. Gwei gizi ze boezi yezi ze chu pe boezi topu gizi ze bagizi zizi dugano bukegi. Yeah, I certainly found Giza to be thoroughly confusing. Not as well. I don't know, quite a lot of changes.
Let's see. Was there anything that changed very drastically?
I think so. The bridge was
Oh, the bridge was lost. She was going all on the road.
just
Which is
prepositions are sure what to do with this.
Okay, let's move on to Andre. He has provided a recording. This is an MP3. I'm going to press this button, and I'm going to trust that it's going to come out. Actually, you know what? Just to make sure, since we're not video, okay. Hold on a sec. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Yani sınıftaki tayfayı kongresinde kullanmış var. Sen kazi destek hal, üyesi destek hal, neçizli boy, bunlar ve hal. Snivar ve hal kuto, davat ve hal tuentaceto, misoci muyeso, fayutol uijal po hal, discentako. Davat ve antale ve tuentaceto, misoci muyeso, tiam sera, bunlar ve classe cineva jashrema. Hon Taesleyari, Zaina Lole Wiha, Lola Revochina Vajash, Class of Uyaso. Vayu Lole Wiha, here I am, Lole Wiha. Snisoju, Misoju to Lola Yako, nice sound. Selichtir so. Lole Boha, Ichtir so do. Jungle Nuntel Boha, Yao, Misain Nachapota. Look at no how, I was sit on a so how, the Ashla Walling.
And that was Andre Schutz. Nice job. I think is he still following along on IRC?
Better than mine, let's see it.
Nice job. All right, let's read the English text. All right, so it's still a deer. That's nice. Okay. A beautiful woman was walking outside along the road above the river. A hiding deer then decided to speak. It said, "Your beauty is like dancing. Your eyes are like 2 small moons. My wife wants you." Things have changed quite a bit. The woman heard that and she laughed. "My eyes are like 2 small moons. Your wife wants me." "Yes, indeed. You can't say my name of 3 words. If you can, say it." The deer said, "I can say your name of 3 words if you want." The woman said, "Don't speak." The deer said, "Your husband and my wife can say it, so do I. What do you say?" The woman said, "I say this." With a knife, she cut right through deer's skin. She cut quickly, the body fell into the waters of the river. She finished, but the deer was still able to say, "Do you like this?" So now things have gotten really interesting with the wife and the husband. What I like is how "I can't hear you" became "don't speak."
Before that, it was not listening to me.
Yeah, you're not listening to me. Okay, next we have Sylvia.
Intercepted was the "yes indeed" in the previous one from this was "yes indeed" and it wasn't there. But now it is in and it gets translated.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have your own?
I have my own.
No, it was in the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah, the previous one, but not before that.
All right, all right. Okay, I can do this. Okay. Chianye yidane yadanama. Yate ni majena majoya ra yadona no su yadana or. Nyama yacheria ya seme yazori reha yidane. Mani malamen, something like that. Stress is in the wrong place, that's okay. Timayan la rijoya ne yanyara, la grionia ne mamora niña, sele ya yaginia yani yadeni, deni ya palier. Tema yao momagena, Cesar. Iteme ma yamariene ni yen. La lironia ne mamora minya genye. Se sera yaginia yen yeni ya deni ge ya pavier genye. Kish yen yahe. La. Va parien anje yasele yen yasore viste yale la vera la. Parien anje isele gauchi. Teneke yidane yen. Palien anje yasore yen yasore viste yale rivera. Teneke magena yen sele yaga. Temeyen pa madeni gon ere madeni gon ele ile anje yaseria sele yerazor yen yagenya sare yerazor yen yao nyama yeste ra yidane sagivekie anen anjuna Nyama yadangi anan andare ila nisaname ra yadana anharida nyama yore eva luhanyan deme ke yidane yen sere yadanyan yen yao kenye sigador. So, one of the things I did, since this is an alien planet and doesn't necessarily have the same animals, I reinterpreted the word for deer as a proper name, and the closest analog to a deer I have is an animal called a yadanre, which basically just is probably something that is known for being fast. What else it is, I don't know. It might be a dinosaur, it might be a mammal, I have no idea, okay? But it is also a very common name in the language. So I just, because I guess the title of the last one was just Deer's Story, so it seemed to me it was a proper name. So I explicitly mark it now as a proper name. Though I don't think that survived. But, and then the other thing is, oh yes, the text was kind of full of non sequiturs.
Like my life one
but it was still mostly comprehensible, so I didn't mess with it too much. So anyway, it became Danre's story. Once upon a time, yeah, that two-syllable word "yelte" means once upon a time. A beautiful woman was going along a road above the river, or along the river would work too. Danre, who was hiding, decided he would say something to her. He said to her, "Your beauty is like a dance. Your eyes are like small moons. I wish that we were joined in marriage." And that was an interesting word too, because I'm not quite sure they actually have something that is culturally analogous to what we would consider marriage, but it's close enough. So then the woman heard this and she laughed at him. "My eyes are like small moons? You wish that we were joined in marriage? Of course, yes. You do not have the ability to tell me the 3 words of my name. If you have the ability, then tell it to me." Danre said to her, "I have the ability to tell you the 3 words of your name. The woman said, well, tell it to me. And the other thing that happened here is there's two ways to say, to do like an imperative. And the first one is polite and the second one isn't. And so first she uses the polite one and then she uses the impolite one. He said to her, your marriage partner, your husband, my wife, and me too, all have the ability to tell it to you. And I thought that was kind of amusing because he's kind of implying that while he's trying to make 3 references out of 2 people. So, so he says this to like show off his cleverness, and then what is your reply to me? And she says, my reply to you is this. And she put the knife through Danray's skin repeatedly. She quickly made punctures, and then his body went into the river's water. She stopped, but Danray continued to say to her, you like this? The end.
You should have changed it to the 4 words of my name.
I should have, because 4 is the sacred number, but you know. But Kellen names can easily have multiple words in them, so 3 is perfectly reasonable.
All right, Sven, let's see what you did with this.
That's a trouble understanding.
Yeah.
And of course, I have trouble telling because I hardly ever speak to anyone in my language. So, Kwechi tua kansi, te stor shmosa, ukobe, win, rerazin, yindalin, rom, jai, yigan, augin, gil, benas Jesu ai hau kans yokaya be, kaik. Yes, there's sita dains, and sita male lor men. Yes, is I mau shine bo the garimesh. I want to pronounce it second time. Ti plunit chen vins eti zvaraibe, cho ens evita male lor men. Cho min jita den shine bo the gariyai tani tod. Ni tane yes estre geiren as anin egi elstan stoi ans yes kans tani yes ai anan si utetre geiren yes vins einth by yes einge kai cosa yes tani yes ai stamai vas si ti seti egi cho dinesi egi asin skian hi gerus ira setsins tsanshe rekike trus skith ti air oh yeah, that sound. Aches krifa jainte duren aungin gil indosas kanith etude kans Jesus jain ango to asin forken.
All right, shall we, what kind of changes did you make? Oh, first of all, Danray is now a hare.
Yeah. I didn't see it as a proper name, so I thought, well, the fastest animal is a hare, so it should be a hare. Thought I read that she came along the road to the source of the Wild River. Well, the wild wasn't in there, but it was an navigable river, so I made it a wild river.
Yes, it's because Kellen has 2 words for river, and I just had to pick one. So
Well, I made it a wild river, but I don't know how I came upon the source, but it was a source. And the hare was hiding there, so that made me make sure that it was a hare, because they do that. he decided to speak to her. I made the eye single. Your eye is a small moon. And then the yes indeed, that was just an interjection before, came to me, well, you wish to marry me? Yes, sure. And then it became incomprehensible, because then you cannot say the 3 words of my name, you can, I will. I can say your name in 3 words, you must say it to me. And then I tried to make 3 words, your husband and my wife. Husband and wife, I can say we are, what is your reply? And then it cut through the skin, swiftly made a hole that you punctured, and threw his body in the water of the wild river. And the hare continued to say from the river, this?
That's a comment. That was a comment, on the forums, right? This? Okay, so now we've come to the tail end of the relay. David Edwards isn't here, so I'm going to take his turn here. I strongly encourage all of you who are conlangers, take this grammar and lexicon, and I invite you to try to translate this text. You'll see what I made of this. His English is just this little English text here. It just sounds lovely. I really wish I could have read it beforehand, but I made absolutely no sense of it. So old hare wants to marry. He was hiding beside the source of a raging river, that hare, and there came a woman along the path to the spring, and she started to dance, because she knew she would catch him. Then he said to her from his hiding place, you beautiful dancer, your eyes are like the moon. Oh, if I asked you to marry me, what would you say? Then she laughed, and she said to him, oh, you old one, you wish to ask me to marry you? Very well, come out from your hiding place and speak the vow. Then he said to her, oh, but I don't know your name. How can I say the vow? She laughed again, and she said to him, oh my, you don't know it? You must say it. Well then, come out from your hiding place, and I will tell you. Ah, so that hare came out from his hiding place, and he said to her, ah, but if I ask you to marry me, how will you answer? And then she said to him, well, I will answer like this. And with that, she turned into a wolf and bit into his throat, killing him. But then as she was skinning him, he said to her, how will you answer? She said to him, oh, you are noisy. But when she pierced him through the heart, he said, how will you answer? Even when she pierced him through the stomach, he said, how will you answer? Even when she pierced him through the liver, he said, how will you answer? Finally, she said, oh, you are certainly noisy, hare. And then she cut off his head and threw it into the river. But it kept on saying and saying, how will you answer, even as it was carried downstream?
That's not translation anymore, that's making a completely new thing.
A little bit.
But the head's back.
Yeah, the head is back. How to get that? I mean, it's not like he was earlier in the relay, but the head returns. All right, so listen, I got this relay text, honestly, it was just like a couple days before I had to leave for the Netherlands. I was swamped. I was completely busy, and I was exhausted because I was staying up late at night, and honestly, take the description of this language. I just saw it and I said, I'm not doing this. And so basically what I did was I just took all the lexical items and I just matched them up. And I tried my very best to come up with something, and I'm actually surprised it has any relation. So let's see. Here we go. I'll try my best to read this. And now we have the goat is finishing up as a rabbit. Ma wizi pinza kimolat ma yesi son. Ma wizi vrel ogo son, a shepa son ma jinme nemo droge yesi san. Yesi rai if vosan katejiza. Oh dear. Katejirari. Katejirari. There we go. Majin as ma wizi ki atejirar yeri gera ven achrafon ven jalanon katihari. Hashir nem kemat man hon. Yesi jasmas ki anha ershek akka hatkil maran. Osos? Yes. Essabe ashepasan. Jin el zikani. Majinas mawiziki hash yer vos nese hateezani. Yesi jasave maaski hash anham nisakmae vos setchi. Es havajan majin astas mae anhan. Mawizi not ashe pasan maas yesisan ki ma el zicheri. Majin asme ki anha vastagiran el zichani. Majin yesi nemo ficho me has venich veri ma me agen agende her foton mawizi ma foton. Vos ma as mawizi ki ma zicheri. Yesi aski hash anha vola bachok lehan. Yesi ziris se jores mawizon. Vos ma as mawizi ki ma zicheri. Yesi zirisi kadima wizon vos maasma wiziki manziheri. Yesi zirisi torge ma wizon vos maasma wiziki manziheri. Yesi zirisi chen ma wizon vos maasma wiziki heri. Majin as yesiki majin anha vos lavahok lekan. Majin me zirise ogoes ma wizon ma oveth with my Mrashevasan. Majin atauza raun ashefasi asenim charmain zicheri. And then he floats away. Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful. All right, so this is what happened. I want to explain this beforehand. So his language, I don't know how to pronounce it. It incorporates a lot of elements. So most of the nouns had some other noun associated with them, and I didn't understand what the relationship was between those two nouns. So in his text, the rabbit was old, but it came in the word for woman. So I thought that the woman was old, and so the woman becomes a crone. The rabbit who wanted to marry a crone. A rabbit leapt from the mouth of a river and accosted a crone. The crone had been walking along the trail dancing. And the rabbit said, "Your dancing lacks a smell, just like the moon, it seems to me. Will you marry me?" I swear this is what it said. It said, smell-less thing, or unscented thing. I don't understand what the heck that's supposed to mean. But anyway, so yeah, your dancing lacks a smell. Perhaps that could mean something. Will you marry me? The crone laughed and said, "I'm too old for marriage. No? Go back to the river. This is my answer." And the rabbit said, "Don't you know my name?" Now the rabbit is asking. The crone laughed and said, "Do I know it?" "Of course not. Get lost and then tell it to me." In that order. The rabbit turned towards the river and said to the crone, "And your answer is?" And then she said, "I will tell you my answer." And the crone turned into a wolf and tore the flesh off the throat of the rabbit with her teeth. But the rabbit said, "And your answer is?" The crone said, "Am I not loud enough?" That's all I could get from the noisy. It didn't make any sense. You see if it makes sense. Okay. The crone cut out the rabbit's heart, but the rabbit said, "And your answer is?" The crone cut out the rabbit's lungs, but the rabbit said, "And your answer is?" The crone cut out the rabbit's stomach, but the rabbit said, "And your answer is?" The crone cut out the rabbit's liver, but the rabbit said, "And your answer is?" And then the crone said, "So I'm not loud enough." And then she cut the head from the rabbit and threw it into the river. Once again, the head is leaving the body. Now it's going into the river. It's not just on the bank. And then from the depths of the river, the words were heard, "And your answer is?" So yeah, whenever you have time, you can go back through there and see just all the details, all the grammatical choices that were made and all the misinterpretations. These things are always just loads of fun. And also on the same page, you can see previous LCC relays and just see the fun there. That concludes the fourth language creation conference. I'm so happy everybody was able to attend. I wanted to say just a couple things. First of all, and this is especially not just for everybody here, but for those watching on IRC, I wanted to mention something about the LCC. So in previous years, kind of the way that we did this, well, the first two LCCs were held at Berkeley because we were started, this thing kind of started as a student group from UC Berkeley, and we couldn't get any funding unless it was held at Berkeley. And I remember at the very first conference, there were people saying, "Oh gosh, that was so great. I wish we could attend. Why don't you hold one in Europe?" And we kept that in mind this whole time. And so people were also asking for one on the East Coast, so we made an effort to put one on the East Coast that was LCC3 in Rhode Island. And then here we are at LCC4 in the Netherlands. So we did it. We got one on the East Coast, we got one in Europe. In the future, we are going to change the way that we do these. So from now on, so starting with LCC5, and we're really going to stick to this. I want us to switch to a bidding process. So what we're going to do is that the LCS has an organization behind it. We've got funding behind it. What we need is for somebody to step up, somebody like Christoph, and that says, I would really like to see an LCC in my area. And then what you do is contact the LCS and let us know that you're interested. We actually have a packet of materials that we're putting together of various things that you need in order to be able to host something like this. And so just take a look, give it an idea. It might take a year, but just, you know, kind of take a look and put it together. And then what's going to happen is for future LCCs, I very much like it if Conlangers, just wherever, basically put together a proposal. We might have several for a given LCC. We take a look and see which one seems like it's going to work out the best, and we say, all right, we're going here. And then we'll give you everything we've got from our organization. So just, you know, we'll take care of advertising. We can look for talks and things like that. We can give you money, but what we need is for somebody on the ground to find a location just like this, like the InfoHaste, and make sure that we have everything we need, all the technical equipment, plugins so that you can play videos correctly on websites. I'm sorry, but anyway, so if the question is, if you're ever tempted to ask, when is LCC5 or where will it be prepared for the return question, I don't know. Why haven't you submitted your proposal yet? So that's how we're going to do it in the future. And we'll put out more information about that, and it'll be on the web in the coming weeks. All right. So anyway, before we go there, certainly a couple of things that need to be said. First, I don't know if she's even within earshot, but Thea,
I'm going to go for.
Oh, okay. He's going to go off with him. So in the meantime, first I want to say, then while we're waiting, thanks in particular to Sylvia Sotomayor. She helped, you know, of course, get everything together with all of us, but she was also kind of the master of the funds, and we're in good shape thanks to her, and we're here partly thanks to her. Thank you, Sylvia. And of course, by the way, thank you to everybody here, everybody who presented, everybody who attended. You guys are the reason that we're all here. Thank you so much, Thea, and thank you for the InfoHaste. This was just a wonderful location. The food was terrific, and everything here was just set up wonderfully. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And finally, I wanted to say a big thank you to Christoph Granzier-Kubutz, who is the reason that we are all here. And with that, I call LCC4 to a close. Thank you, everybody who is here. Thank you, everybody who is watching over the weekend. Thank you so much. And hopefully, we will see everybody again one day soon.